COVID has affected all of us in many ways, and for some of the small business owners, with mandatory shutdown and supply chains being affected, the result was devastating. Luckily for many, EIDL and PPP program has helped deter some losses and kept staffing employed. In 2020, there was also a program called Employee Retention Credit, designed to reward small businesses for retaining their employees, and $400 billion was allocated for this program. However, the requirement to qualify was so stringent that not many small businesses qualified, so only about 5% of this money was distributed. Due to this reason, this program has been amended 5 times, and for those businesses that didn't qualify at the beginning, they may now qualify up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. Yes, I said $26,000. $5,000 maximum in 2020 and $21,000 in 2021, or $7,000 per employee per quarter. So, what has changed? In the beginning of the program, to qualify, the business owner has to show a loss of 20% or more in the business from 2019 to 2020 and had less than 100 employees. If qualified, the employer would have had a tax credit of 50% of W-2 payroll for 2020, up to a maximum of $5,000 per employee. In 2021, the program changed to a 70% credit for all employers with less than 500 employees, though the 20% or more in loss of gross income was still applicable. The calculation can be per quarter, so even if one quarter the business owner didn't qualify, they still may qualify for a different quarter. This program ran from March 15th of 2020 to September 15th of 2021. For those that didn't start the business until February 15th of 2020, they still can qualify up to $50,000 if their gross income is less than $1 million. Now, what has changed in the amendment is besides this requirement, there is an or. The or is that any business that was shut down by government mandate or their supply chain was affected, they now qualify. Well, pretty much the whole country had a mandatory shutdown at one point, so you can see how this program is inclusive of many small businesses. So let's take a look at which employee will qualify. The most important factor is the employee have to be a W-2 employee and excludes any owners that have 51% or more in ownership. It also excludes any implied owners, such as spouse who may not own the business but is a W-2 employee. How much you pay the employee gets paid does not matter, but obviously the equation is up to 50 or 70% of their wages, so it may affect how much credit the employer will receive. Health benefit contribution can also be included as part of the calculation, though no 1099 wages can be included. There are also certain items that will not be qualified, such as employer-paid Social Security and Medicare expenses. This is a tax credit, and qualified money can be applied toward employment taxes or in the form of a refund check. Checks can be refunded separately per quarter or in one check, and is taking about 6 to 8 months to process. However, the indication is that processing is becoming quicker. Since the payroll taxes has most likely been paid for 2020 and 2021, most will be doing an amendment, which is the 941X form, and the amendment can be done up to 3 years after the filing. Now, just because there is a long deadline doesn't mean there's money there when you do your filing. Regulations can change, and if budget is depleted, who knows if there will be additional budget. Besides, these refunds can be so substantial, so I will be jumping on this unless money doesn't matter to you. Since this is a credit, there is no payback and the amount is fully forgiven upon receipt. There are no restrictions as to what you do with the money because the purpose is to stimulate the economy. The next question I have been asked is, if you already received PPP and EIDL, do you still qualify? The answer is yes. Of course, there are some calculations involved, as there are no double dipping. So if you have been forgiven on some PPP money, received restaurant revitalization, or some federal grants, these will be taken into account. How do you get started? You can actually do this on your own, and certain payroll companies are also assisting their customers in filling out these forms. Personally, I would look at an expert, as you don't want to be in a situation where miscalculation occurred and you find yourself in a bad audit situation. Owing IRS money is just not a fun game. There are many organizations out there formed to assist the small business owners with this process, but personally, I would look into an expert who do know about this program, know how to do the calculation, and also understand the applicable rules, regulations, what qualifies, what does not qualify, and can back you up should an audit occur. To prepare for the filing, here are some items that the business owners must have ready, so let's look at them. First, you need a description about the business. Second, you need a description about how the business got interrupted. Third, you need to gather your 941 quarterly report for any quarter that you want to claim. Fourth is a copy of your PPP loan information, including your forgiveness paperwork, and then finally, your payroll employer report. That should be enough for an analysis to see if you qualify and for what amount. As I said, you can do this yourself, but the process can be cumbersome and take knowledge to make sure all details are corrected. Getting an accountant involved who specializes in this may be a prudent decision, but not all accountants know about this program and would need to research it, sometimes still missing pertinent information. This is where Wealth-Centric may be able to help. We have researched this program and have a team of accountants that specializes in Employee Retention Credit Program. Our accountant will analyze your payroll, apply all things to consider such as PPP, federal grant programs, take into account all non-qualified transactions, and complete your form from A to Z. Feel free to contact us and do not leave money on the table. It can be a substantial amount. If you find this program helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Comment if you have questions and subscribe so I can bring you more programs to help you, your business, and your lifestyle to be more you perfected.